This episode was brought to you by My Extraordinary Productions, offering budgeting and scheduling services. Hi everyone! So there are 4 basic methods for getting your project funded, and I'm going to go over the pros and cons of these 4 main methods. So let's start off with the first one, funding it yourself. Some of the pros of funding your own project are that you are the decision maker. You are the one who decides everything. No one is going to get in your way because you're where the money is coming from. And because you are in control of all the money and all the decisions, you have all of the creative control. So the downside, of course, is that if you're the one paying for everything, you have to have the money to begin with. If something bad happens and you're out $2,000, you are the one who is $2,000 poorer. Since you're the one who has to earn the money, you may have to spend time earning that money and saving up for the project. So it may be a little slower than if you were to use one of the other methods. Also, because you are the one making every single decision, you are responsible for everything, good and bad. Okay, so that was self-funding. Let's talk about finding 1 or 2 investors. So the awesome thing is that if you have an investor who's willing to put $10,000 into your project, you have a team member who has all of these resources that they are giving to you. That is so awesome, right? What could possibly be bad about this? Well, by accepting an investor's money, you end up giving some of your creative control to them. Sometimes you do have an investor who just wants you to succeed, but sometimes you get someone who says, I think you should do this. And if you disagree with them, they'll say, okay, you don't have to do that. Also, I don't have to give you this money. So they kind of catch you between a rock and a hard place. Sometimes the dynamic of your relationship also changes as a result. Whoever is giving the money has the power advantage over whoever is receiving the money. The final downside to having an investor is the potential for them to run out of money. If your investor runs out of money in the middle of your production, well, you've got a halfway done production. They are obviously destitute at that moment. You may have to sacrifice some money. You may have to find funds for yourself. You may be just caught in a really bad situation. So we talked about having a single investor. Let's talk about having several investors, or crowdfunding. The good thing about crowdfunding is that it can be easier getting 1,000 people to donate $10 than getting one person to donate $10,000. On top of that, if you have 1,000 people donating to your project, you already have a built-in audience of 1,000 people. That's awesome. So what is the problem with crowdfunding? First of all, you need the audience to begin with. If you don't have the audience, then your crowdfunding campaign's probably not going to go very well. Second, crowdfunding can easily become a full-time job. And if you have a full-time job, well, you're balancing 2 full-time jobs, and that is not easy for most people. Now we have our final way of funding a film, which is to apply for a grant. So the awesome thing about a grant is that it is essentially free money. Yes, you have to spend an hour or 2 filling out the forms, and also you have to spend time finding the grant to begin with. But after that part, someone's just giving you money and you're just going to shoot something with it. In order to receive a grant, you need to fulfill specific requirements. Some of these requirements mean having a film that's about positive social change. If you were already going to film something about the environment or civil liberties or something, great! Finally, grants may not end up covering the entirety of your film, which means that you may end up using one of the other methods that I listed in addition to the grant. So hopefully this video helped 1 or 2 of you out. Thanks a lot for watching. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Follow me on social media. If you've got a question, leave a comment, and I will see you all next time.